the next governor of Virginia. And Glenn and I are both members of the Commonwealth, citizens of the Commonwealth. And I am 100% behind him in his campaign because the Commonwealth is on a bad path. Glenn, welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show. Good St. Patrick's Day to you.
Hugh,
Hugh,
thank you for
having me with you.
Well, I got to begin by telling you when I was talking with the fetching Mrs. Hewitt about getting involved and supporting you, we went and looked at your website, and she saw these three boys of yours along with your beautiful daughter and your wife. And she took a look at those three boys and she said, that's a lot of traffic tickets and broken bumpers and trips to the emergency room. Is she right?
Well, in order to protect my great guys, they've done a really good job through their adolescent years and into their 20s. And so, no, we're really proud of them. And I've just been blessed with a great family, and they're all in here. So this is great fun for all of us to be running for governor.
Now, are you deploying them throughout the Commonwealth? When you've got 4 kids and a wonderful wife, you really do have 6 times the candidate if they like it. Are they into it?
They're into it now. They're all in school, different places, and so my wife is actually campaigning yesterday and today in another spot, and my oldest son Grant is joining me on the road next week.
Oh, that's
so they're episodically joining us. It's great.
Now, one technical issue before we talk some policy. When I signed up to be a delegate, which is Virginia's got the worst primary system in America. I've covered all 50 states. It's crazy how we nominate people. Will you explain to people who are listening in Virginia or who have family, they're listening across the country on 400 affiliates, that they can call in Virginia? How do they get to participate in nominating you to be the Republican candidate for governor?
First they come to our website, which is youngkinforgovernor.com, and we have a very easy how to get registered to be a delegate, and we can actually have a help desk that can help you through it. That's number one. Number two, you'll sign up over the course of the next couple weeks, and we'll help you get your form filed with your local county, and then you'll get your form filed, and you'll be a delegate, and then you'll come back on May the 8th, and there will be one of 37 polling locations, one near you, and you'll come by on that Saturday, and you'll drop off your ballot. The ballot will be rank-ordered choice as opposed to selecting one candidate. You pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and that's all you do. And so I'm actually pleased that we've got this settled. Yes, it took an enormous amount of time, and it's been confusing for folks, but we have a process, and now we're running to win.
Now, Youngkinforgovernor.com will help people. Will they send you the ballot once you sign up as a delegate, as both the fetching Mrs. Hewitt and I have done?
Yes, they will ask you to come and fill it out. So you will receive a ballot, and I think they will not send it to you. But that hasn't been settled finally. I would expect that folks are going to come to the polling location. They'll be handed a ballot, and you will fill it out.
All right. Now, let's get to some policy. Yesterday, Ralph Northam, who is really one of the worst governors in America, I know a nice guy, bad governor, signed a law allowing felons to vote. And look, that's an interesting issue. There's a lot of things people can talk about when felons can vote, not vote. But is that the number one thing facing Virginia right now? The roads don't work. The state is in fiscal chaos, and he's signing bills about Virginians voting.
Yeah, it is amazing where our Democrat-led House, Senate, and our governor are spending their time. We are in the middle of a pandemic, and we have schools closed. We have a vaccine that has been terribly distributed. Our DMVs don't work. We can't process unemployment claims, and we have Virginians hurting. And we are expanding voting rights to people that are still under their sentence for a felony. And this is just where the Democrats choose to spend their time. Hugh, over the course of the last 3 legislative cycles, we've seen the Democrats who have control of both houses absolutely run through a wish list like a combine through a wheat field of everything they've ever wanted and try to jam it through. And it has been absolutely awful for our Commonwealth, and that's why I'm running for governor. This is why we're doing this, is to take back our beloved Commonwealth and actually focus on the things that really matter, like getting our kids back in school, getting our economy going, actually having job opportunities for all Virginians. This is where we have to spend our time, Hugh.
Just had an amazing moment this week, Glenn Youngkin, with a bond trader in L.A. who's retiring. Went to school with me, and he's hit the time where the magic retirement occurs, like when you exited the Carlyle Group, and he's going to move. And a lot of Californians do that, like I did in 2016. You leave California, go find a tax-friendly state and a place that you want to live. And I moved to the Commonwealth. And he said, absolutely not. Their taxes are going up and their government's in the hands of the Democrats. Tennessee, Florida, somewhere else, not Virginia. Have you been hearing that a lot? Virginia went from a place to move to a place to flee from.
That is the absolute truth. And sadly, because we have had a slow economy and poor job growth, because our cost of living continues to go up, because we, in fact, see a real threat to right to work under this Democrat-led House and Senate and governor, we are seeing families actually leave Virginia faster than they move in. We have had net migration out of Virginia of families, and it is a canary in the coal mine for the future of our great Commonwealth. And this is a huge problem, a giant problem. This is why we're going to change this, because Virginia used to be one of the greatest states in America. And now people leave Virginia and they go to Tennessee and North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and Texas in pursuit of jobs, cost of living, and lifestyle. And we've just got to turn this around.
Now, there's a fundamental problem that's a good problem to have. The tech business is coming, as you well know from your time running a venture firm and a capital investment firm, the Carlyle Group. You know well that it's a huge deal for Amazon to come to Arlington, Virginia. A huge deal. And the tech center out by Dulles, huge deal. But the people that come with those companies are typically young millennials and coders and software engineers and young people looking to rise in the world. And they bring West Coast politics to the East Coast. How are you going to talk to them, Glenn Youngkin, about why they want to keep Virginia the way it was and not do what happened in Colorado? Colorado went from red to purple and now blue because of the Californians who moved there.
Yeah, I think the first thing we have to do is reach out to all Virginians. And what we found is the Republican Party over the last 11 years has found new and inventive ways to lose statewide elections. And at the core of it is recognizing we have had demographic shifts. We actually have had a different group of people become the majority population in Virginia, predominantly in Northern Virginia, predominantly non-white. And the Republican Party has done a poor job in connecting, listening, and in fact, helping everyone understand we have shared values: small government, not large government, low taxes, low regulations, meritocracy in our schools, the fact that we actually have to stand up for our constitutional rights. And these kinds of values aren't limited to a small group of people. These are predominantly universal views that so many people have. And the Republican Party has done a bad job in connecting with people who are both millennials and rising up in their careers, but also the minority population. And this is what we've been focused on in the campaign.
Last question. You just mentioned it. Schools are closed in a lot of Northern Virginia. I had Mary Catherine Ham on yesterday, CNN analyst, and she's fuming. Everyone's fuming online. There is no reason scientifically to have closed schools. Is this an issue in the campaign?
It's a huge issue in the campaign, and it is absolutely a bipartisan issue here. Why are our schools closed when we've actually seen schools in Florida open since last August? I was talking to Governor DeSantis about 10 days ago, and I asked him, I said, Governor, how'd you get your schools open? And he said, I told them to open, and then I reminded them all what happened when the air traffic controllers didn't go back to work with Ronald Reagan. You got to go back to work, folks. It's best for our kids. And the Virginia kids absolutely have been suffering academically and emotionally, and it's had a terrible impact on families. You know that over 3 million women have dropped out of the workforce over the last year across this country because of the pandemic and the pressures put on them. And we've got to get this moving. We've got to get the schools open now in Virginia, or otherwise Virginia kids are going to be further hurt, and it's not fair.
Glenn Youngkin, keep coming back. Look forward to working with you as you become the Republican nominee for governor and then get down to the State House in Richmond. Good to talk to you, Glenn. Thank you.